Welcome back to Personal Pension Radio. This is a quick take episode. This is just a down and dirty answer to a question from a listener. Hello, Wendy. And by the way, those of you who are not watching on the YouTube or the Facebook or LinkedIn, yes, I am waving. Yes, I am wearing a red, white, and blue, very loud shirt. Today I just felt like wearing a nice loud shirt. So hello, Wendy. Great question. I'll get there in just a minute. Always the same disclosure. I am not a certified public accountant. I'm not an attorney. I do work at an awesome law firm. I am a paralegal, so if you ever need any help with your estate plan questions, living trusts, LLCs, corporate structures, asset protection, we do all of that, and I love those conversations. But I'm not an attorney. I am a certified financial planner professional. All that to say this. Please don't act on things that you hear on my show as if you're getting advice for you and your situation. You should meet with a hopefully qualified, certified financial planner to go through your situation before you make any moves. So, I promise, quick take. Wendy writes in with this question: how do you decide where to retire? Perfect question, because my wife Amy and I have been thinking about that very same thing. With my birthday at 50 years old, and we looked down the road and realized, if I work to be 70, which I love what I do, so why not? I work until I'm 70 and retire. I could probably have another 20 years left, right? And enjoy retirement. But where do you retire? So funny enough, Wendy, my wife and I actually have a folder. Those of you not watching on YouTube or Facebook, I'm holding up our folder and it says Waldo. Like, where's Waldo? This is our Where's Waldo folder, because some folks over my years have told me that I could be that Where's Waldo guy with my ears and a red shirt on. I could be the Where's Waldo guy. So we have a folder that we keep, and we'll continue to build up information on various locations, places that we'd like to explore, places that we'll take right off the list that we won't explore. But that's the key, that if you're going to look at where to retire, it's really important to start doing your research. You've got to ask yourself some questions, though. I'm going to propose a few things that you really just have to consider right up front. And this is one of the reasons why Amy and I, we don't have any rock solid lock on a place to retire at this point. No way, no how, because of the number one question that I suggest you ask is, where's your family? Where's your family? I have little Miss Madeline. Sometimes she listens to the podcast or watches the video. So hello, Madeline. Madeline is currently settled down in Flagstaff, Arizona. She says that she's never coming back to California, but we don't know if her work, her career path will take her outside of Arizona, or will she stay in her little mountain town of Flagstaff? So that's number one. Someday, will she have a family? I don't know, right? Right now, she has a dog, cat, and plants. That's it. But she's in Flagstaff. So think about where your family is going to be. Living in Costa Rica or Mexico might sound kind of cool, and it pops up on countless retirement blogs and vlogs and AARP write-ups and journals, and it sounds cool. And yes, maybe living in Mexico or Costa Rica, for example, or Puerto Rico is inexpensive, but is that conducive for seeing your family? Is that conducive for the next big one, which is healthcare? Are you going to have access to appropriate and adequate health care if you are living, and I'll give you an example. We know people, for example, who live in an absolutely beautiful place, just stunningly beautiful. It's amazing. But they are 2 hours drive from the nearest big airport, 2 hours away from a really good hospital. They're out there. They're way out there. And that's here in the U.S., in the Northwest. I don't know. Is that really where you'd want to end up? You got to think about healthcare, and your access to healthcare is a big one. If you're in Mexico, Do you have access to health care? Some places in Mexico have expatriate communities where there is excellent health care. But is it exactly what you need? You got to double check that. You should find out. The next one, the third one I want you to think about, Wendy, is weather. The weather. Okay, I'm going to tell you a story. My parents, when they decided to retire from Southern California, they looked all over the place, and I don't know how it came up on their radar, but they saw an advertisement for a home for sale somewhere they were looking, or somebody said, hey, check this out, in a city called Cool, C-O-O-L, Cool, California. Sounds pretty good, right? Living in Southern California, where this week in October, it's 100 degrees out, right? Just 2 weeks ago, it was 115 degrees out. So my parents were very interested in a place that was called Cool, California. Like, that's awesome. So they actually went there. They did the next thing that I suggest, but they went and they traveled to the small town of Cool, California. Okay, fine. Well, here's what happened. They traveled there in the fall. It was cool. Their realtor was a no good, dirty, rotten slime bag. That's the best way to put it.